Well, the three of us are finishing up breakfast. Some ham and eggs, some delicious ham that we got in Tennessee. We just stopped inside the Natchez Trace, Natchez Trace Parkway Visitor Center. Picked up a lapel pin and some brochures, and once we're finished up here, we're going to get on the road. Well, from when we last talked in Memphis, we worked our way a little further south and then east, where we overnighted in Tupelo, Mississippi, where we hopped on the Natchez Trace Parkway, and that's where we are now. We've decided to come off the interstate and reorganize our travel plans, and it's been so relaxing to get down here onto a slower road with no commercial traffic. And it's actually maintained by the National Park Service. There are a lot of historical interpretation sites, and we actually began at the visitor center this morning where we had breakfast. And we stopped a little bit ago at some Indian mounds to stretch our legs and let the cat have a bit of a walk, make another cup of coffee. The sun actually peaked out a little bit, so I think our southward trajectory is benefiting us a little already. The road here is very nice. We're enjoying, well, what greenery can be offered in December, but there's grass and fields and beautiful pine trees, and we're supposed to be passing through some very interesting bottomlands and swamps with cypress, and it's a welcome change. This parkway follows more or less an old buffalo trail and Indian road. And we learned about it in this book, the Scenic Highways and Byways from National Geographic. It's one of the resources we use to plan trips like this, and that we would normally use had we not been trying to get to New Braunfels on such a time frame. This is what our route planning would have looked like. We use this and a couple other books that I'm sure I'll show you to find alternatives to the big interstates that just push you from city to city and town to town. And this has been really cool.
It's a shame that no alternative on Google exists. You can only search like the fastest route or the most economical. There's no list of like these highways, scenic byways. There's no way to get it to even give you directions. You have to add waypoints to get it.
If you're trying to force Google to show you these, it'll tell you just no, get off and get on the highway and go down to the next stop that way. It'll be faster. And you're like, well, I don't want to be part of the traffic. I want to be over on this interesting road, the less used highway.
I actually quite like this little road. There's no stop signs. There's very little traffic.
Yeah, and commercial traffic is actually prohibited, so there's none of that semi-truck weaving out at everything. It's 2 lanes, 50 miles an hour.
And I like that there's plenty of ways to get on and off of it. You don't have to start in Nashville and drive the whole thing to Natchez or vice versa. You could just get on it for even a daily commute, which I think could be cool if you lived local. Sunshine! Ow!
Too much sunshine!
I got too low. I didn't expect it to actually be peeking out.
I forgot what this is like.
Oh, it's so nice. I don't think we got any sunshine in Tennessee. It was gloomy the whole time.
Benny's enjoying it.
I might have to put sunglasses on.
The miles have been passing smoothly on the trace, and here we are at the Pearl River, which forms part of the boundary between Mississippi and Louisiana, and it's just off the parkway here. There's restrooms and picnic sites and grills and a nice walk along the bank here.
It's positively balmy out here. I got short sleeves on. We're gonna take you out at the next stop, Benny. The next stop you can come. He's gonna shred the furniture while we're gone in protest. This looks extremely safe.
Just a brief stop to take some pictures of the river. Up next is a walk through cypress swamp. It's supposed to be a boardwalk trail. Should be pretty fun.
Haha.
I'm locked out.
Booby trapped you.
You stay there and get your vest on.
The funny thing is once you put the vest on him, he usually
Time
starts
to go.
behaving because he's like,
Yes, you're taking me.
here, oh, I'm gonna get to go. I guess I'll sit here. He's too excited right now. Go ahead. I just love being down here in the cypress swamp. It's so pretty. Never thought I would say I love being in the swamp, but cypress swamp is different. The cat smelled something weird by the base of the tree, so now he has to be carried. He just wanted to go back the wrong way. But he rides well. Go back over my shoulder, you weirdo. Running after Daddy up there. You better run, he's pretty far ahead of you. Just wants to walk next to you and trip you. Typical cat. Yes, Your Majesty, I will carry you through the swamp.
Swampy bottomland like this really reminds me of the walks we got to take in Congaree National Park. We've got some good footage of that. Once we're done with this Vlogmas, I can't wait to start putting those out. Well, we made it to our overnight location. It's a Harvest Host, a church, just across the Mississippi River in Vidalia, Louisiana. Made it down the rest of the Natchez Trace. And I'm gonna throw this giant slab of salmon in the oven because we're starving. And have a cup of tea. Well, my pilot's dead.
Have we started?
We made it down the last 25 miles of the Natchez Trace in the dark, which I tell you was like running a gauntlet of deer. We were passing them by the herd. How many times?
It was sketchy. At least 6 to 8.
Herds.
Like close to the car.
Yeah,
like I'm not counting the ones that were further away.
In groups of 4, 5, and 8, and one pretty decent buck ran out right in front of us.
Yeah. I recommend driving Natchez Trace, but not after dark.
In the daylight. In the daylight. Beautiful drive, and as compared to the interstate, I would say restorative rather than draining like the interstate can be.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's still a 6-hour drive.
I mean, it's a 6-hour drive.
From where we were.
It's
longer than that.
Yeah, we were in the middle. Tupelo?
Yeah.
But it's not stop and go. There's no red lights. There's no semis. It's just very smooth. Set the cruise control and go, and it's just very pretty. So I agree with it being restorative. I'm just tired.
And enjoy the farmland and the swamps and the forests and cotton fields, and it was a nice drive. We really enjoyed it. We made it down to down to Natchez, where we'll probably check out the town tomorrow. We went across the river now in Louisiana. We are in Vidalia, Louisiana. I think you have to say it like that while you're here, Louisiana. Staying at a Harvest Host for the night, and we're gonna wait for our salmon to get done and just kind of refresh.
If I had it to do over again, I would stay at one of the campgrounds on Natchez.
Yeah,
There's
there are
like
a
2
few.
or 3 campgrounds, and we just didn't have the forethought or planning. We didn't know we were doing this, but if I were going to do it again, I would kip in there somewhere before dark.
Yeah, and I mean, for that matter, having it to do again, I would have taken this all the way from Nashville. And usually you hear it described as starting from down here and going up toward Nashville, but either way would just be an awesome trip and a great way to stay off the interstates. It's been really cool.
Am I hearing the salmon or the cat?
That's the cat.
Okay. I was worried about the oven. Like, what's happening in there?
I can smell it.
I'm sorry.
No biting.
I'm really hungry.
We used the Parkway kind of as a thoroughfare, although we did enjoy a couple stops along the way. We stretched our legs at the Indian Mounds, and we took Benny for a walk at the Cypress Swamp. We even got off the Parkway for a little bit in the town of Kosciuszko, named after a Polish Revolutionary War hero. Cute little town. Just drove a loop around the town square. So there's plenty to do there that we didn't see, and it served our purpose well as well. Now that we're down here in a little bit more enjoyable climate, I can tell you, as we drove, we started to see the palmetto under the trees, and things started to shift, and now it's plenty warm. It was, what, 73 when we stopped after Pearl River, and the sun started to peek out, so I'd say mission success. That was day 10 of our vlog challenge, and I can't wait to see what we get up to tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing and hit the like button for us. I really enjoy hearing what you have to say. If you have any comments or questions for me, leave them below. I'll get right back to you. Thanks for watching.